What's up, guys? My name is Jake. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome to my YouTube channel if you're new. Today I have a very special guest with me. This is Corlin. Corlin, say hi to everyone.
How's it going?
Corlin is one of my very loyal subscribers, and he is also one of my very close friends. And today he is going to be asking me questions that um, some of you might want to know the answer to, and then a few questions that a loyal subscriber has commented on one of my previous videos. So without further ado, I will let Corlin start asking away.
All right, so these first three questions came from Rowlet Gaming, and one of the first three is, what program do you use to make your models?
So I use the Maya software. I started trying to figure out how to use Blender. Haven't completely figured that out yet because the mechanics using Blender are very different from Maya, and I'm used to starting from scratch and moving the vertices and edges around, which is very different from what you do in Blender, because Blender, it's more of like you're sculpting with clay. I'm pretty sure there are some mechanics that Blender has in common with Maya, but I haven't figured that out yet. So mainly I use Maya, and then I use the Flash Forge app to actually slice my files so that I can send them off to my 3D printer.
All right, so this next question, also from Rowlet Gaming, do you have a 3D printer as your channel name implies?
Yes, I do have a 3D printer. I have the FlashForge Adventure 3, and that printer it's a very small printer, and I use it to make a lot of tiny models, nothing too extravagant. I've made 2 masks out of it, and I made a couple of like really cool things with my printer, and it's just the right size for what I'm doing now, so that I can do short videos and share them with y'all. Nothing too extravagant. Maybe in the future, whenever I actually have a full-time job and I make more money, then I can buy a bigger printer so that I can do cool things that other YouTubers do, like make masks and armor and swords and all the stuff that everyone loves to see on YouTube.
All right, so this last question from Rowlet Gaming is, what has been your favorite and least favorite models on your channel?
So by far, my favorite that I've done so far has to be the Kid Leroy heart one that I've done recently, solely because the make of that model and rendering it and adding the color to it and all that, it really stuck out, and it really looked, with the gradient on it, it really looks cool, and it's a really cool model. My least favorite one is a video that I will not be posting that he actually suggested to me. He suggested that I made Sonic, but that is a very hard character to model because his face shape is very, very abnormal. So I will work on it, and if I do succeed in making him better, then I will post that video. But so far, it is a very, very goofy looking model to start off with, so that's why I'm not posting the video on it.
So those are like your favorite final products, right?
The Sonic was my least favorite, and then the Kid Leroy heart was my favorite.
Okay, what about in terms of actually making them?
Actually printing them, so far my favorite build would probably have to be the Butterbot, because that is one of my favorite characters, even though he was only in one episode of Rick and Morty. And then probably my least favorite was the Steelix one. Not because of the way it looked or just printing the model. It's because a subscriber suggested that one to me, and I printed it to make the subscriber happy. However, I didn't like the way that it turned out because the filament that I used is what's called silk PLA. And the thing about the silk PLA is it's very brittle, and the layers don't stick to each other as well. So that's why I didn't like how that one turned out, because there was a lot of cracks, and removing the supports was a pain, and I really just didn't want to have to deal with all of that. But I did end up posting the video on it. You can check it out on my channel. But that is probably my least favorite print that I've done. And then my Butterbot is the favorite.
Okay, so this next question comes from yours truly. What really got you into 3D printing?
So I got into 3D printing my senior year, which is when I really kicked off 3D modeling. And the first thing that I modeled and actually had printed was the stuffed Boris 3D print that my teacher let us print certain things using his resin printer. That is one of the only two times that I've used a resin printer, um, and I feel like it turned out really good. And it was the first print that I've actually done, and it just felt great to see something that uh, I could make that came to life and got printed and is visibly there to show my work. And that's kind of how I got into 3D printing. And so from there, I wanted to get a printer that was very simple and easy to use. And that's why I got the Flash Forge Adventure 3, because it's a really good starter 3D printer. And then once I expand my skills using it, then I can buy a new printer in the future.
All right. So next question: what other models do you plan to do in the future?
Um, Sorry, my camera's crooked. So I'm not quite sure what models I'm planning to do in the future. There's one lined up that a subscriber suggested to me. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head. It is a Pokemon character. I'm not sure whether I will release that video or not. Um, I mainly just need more ideas because I'm running out of ideas. So if you guys have anything that you want me to 3D print or model, leave it in the comments so that I can leave a heart on your message and so I can print that and model that next. But at the moment, I'm not sure what I'm going to be printing next or what I'm going to be 3D modeling next. But hopefully, it'll give me a little bit of a challenge and I'll be able to throw something out.
So this next question: will you ever set up like some type of shop of some kind so that your viewers can like buy some of your prints?
So I've thought about that, and I've thought about selling things on the side like keychains or lithophane pictures. I haven't done any lithophane pictures on this channel, but basically what a lithophane is it's uh, pretty basic. There's this website that I use where you can insert an image and then it'll give you the STL file for the print. And all you have to do is send it off to your printer. And what it does is when you print it out, it's thicker in some spots and it's thinner in some spots. So when you shine a light through it, it shows an image. And I got that idea from another YouTube channel that I watched. I would have to find the video to try to figure out where I got it, because it was such a long time ago. And I made a few for him, and I made a few for some other people, and I've thought about selling those on the side. And I have had a couple of sales on that, but it's not a full time thing, solely because I'm limited on the materials I can use. I am unemployed right now, so I don't have any source of income, so there's no way for me to keep that business going. Um, but hopefully in the future, I can do that on the side, as a side job or a side hobby and print things for people, but it wouldn't be a full time job.
All right. One of a fun question because all this just seems like a bunch of gibberish if I'm being honest. What is your favorite food?
Hmm.
It could be any kind of food: snack food, gourmet food.
That is the easiest question you could have asked me. Panda Express orange chicken. I'm not sponsored by Panda Express. Just keep that in mind. But Panda Express orange chicken, delicious.
I guess I second that. All right. What is your favorite and least favorite filament to use when printing?
So my favorite filament to use right now is the Hatchbox white PLA filament. One, because that filament has never failed me. Taking off supports is very easy and it's not a problem. My least favorite is Silk PLA, because that one, the supports are very brittle, the whole entire build is very brittle, and it falls apart really easy. And then in between good and bad, it's kind of a gift and a curse at the same time. It's the Sunlu PLA filament. Um, and that the problem with that filament is it does a really good job at making prints, really really good job. However, sometimes taking off the supports is a little hard, and then if I do a raft on the bottom, which is like the bottom layer that everything sits on, it is a pain in the tail to take that off. I've had situations where it has taken me 10 minutes trying to get it off because it sticks so well and the layers stick so well together. So by far the best one, Hatchbox white PLA filament. You can get it on Amazon, or any Hatchbox filament. And then my least favorite by far is probably the silk PLA filament.
Okay, next question. Why haven't you been posting as often?
So the reason I haven't been posting as often is because, as y'all may know, I am 18 years old. I'm unemployed. However, I am a college student, and recently the weeks coming up plus this week are very busy weeks. I have assignments due just about every day of the week, and there's not a lot of time for 3D modeling. And so if I can't 3D model, I can't record, and if I can't record, then I can't edit the videos, and so on and so forth. And so I just can't. I have to make sure that I get my school stuff done so that I can be successful. And then if I do have time for it at the end of the day, that is when I do my 3D modeling. And I've been trying to do like about an hour a day of 3D modeling just so that I can keep giving y'all content. Um, but it is a little difficult being a full time college student.
It's a struggle, y'all. Stay kids forever. I promise you, that's the easiest thing. All right, where do you normally buy your filament?
I get all of my filament from Amazon. Everything that I've gotten in terms of filament has been on Amazon. The first filament that I ever bought got it from Amazon. It was Hatchbox PLA filament. It was one of the best rated ones, and I can see why because I've seen the way it performs in the 3D prints and the just the way that it prints. And that's the one that I used most often whenever I first started this channel. If y'all saw my very first couple of videos, they were all done in white filament. Um, but everything that I've gotten is from Amazon. You can find silk PLA, you can find normal PLA, you can find TPU filament, which I do want to test out in the future. I do want to test out flexible filament that you can actually like squeeze and it like flexes. um, I do want to try flexible filament in the future whenever I finally get money because I am broke. Um, but yeah, everything that I do, you can go on some other websites and there are some places that sell PLA for cheaper and they sell their filament for cheaper. But Amazon is kind of my go-to because I can get it in, I, it can, I can get it in either a day or I can get it in 3 days. But either way, Amazon hasn't failed me yet. Scratch that. Amazon has failed me one time. I did order 2 rolls of filament and they didn't arrive, and so I had to cancel that order. But other than that, Amazon is like my go-to to get my filament.
Okay, last question. Are you going to have a consistent upload schedule, and if so, when?
Um, so during the summer is most likely when I would have a consistent schedule to upload. The reason being is because I'm not doing school at that time. I have a lot of time to focus on me, and I can really like focus everything on my 3D modeling because I am trying to expand my portfolio. Everything that I do online and I record, I upload to my portfolio. If you guys want to see that, go to the About section of my page. You'll find the link to my portfolio in there. I did upgrade my portfolio since the first one, and it looks a whole lot better. So go check that out if you want to see all the work that I've done. Um, but the summertime is probably when I would have the best possibility of having a consistent schedule because then I might actually be able to post every single day. But at the moment, being a full time college student, I can more publish once a week rather than once every day. Um, and so I hope that I'll have a lot more time in the future that I'll be able to uh, post more content for my viewers.
All right, well, that's all the questions.
You got anything else for me?
Hmm. First off, I want to say this. I appreciate you, Rowlet Gaming, for these first 3 questions. Those were some really nice questions.
Yeah, guys, go subscribe to Rowlet Gaming. I'm going to leave the link to his YouTube channel in the description below. And without further ado, I will see y'all in the next video.
There you go.